Is $50 an hour possible for a brand new reseller? And I went over quite a few different things, and I said, hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. I got a message about 10, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, that I've been waiting to talk about for the right time, and I think this is the right time today. And it's really, I want to talk about it, A, to defend my honor, and then B, because I think this is a faulty argument, and I hear this all the time, and I really want to combat this argument a little bit, and I can't wait to talk about it. Let's go take a look. And ironically, in this time period, I've got some things that people often talk about that say, it's just not worth it anymore. It's not worth the money that you can make for the time you put in anymore. Things have changed. And so we're gonna, let me tell you about this first, because I get this, and especially when this kind of stuff happens. I haven't had a return in forever. I've had some cancellations. As a matter of fact, I've had 3 cancellations this week, and one was on an item that was over $400. And that was before I shipped it. I do like that, by the way. eBay, if somebody requests a cancellation now, hides that. That's not in the, print label shipping area right there. Because they've, I've done that before. Have you ever done that? Where somebody wanted to cancel an order, you didn't see the message? Maybe it's just me, because I get so many stinking messages in here on eBay that don't have to do with eBay. And so sometimes I've shipped something and I'm like, I see the message, an hour later, I'm like, doggone it. Well, they took that out of there, but that's not the topic here. I did have 3 cancellation requests before I shipped it this week, which is high for me. And one was that high dollar item. And I haven't had a return in forever. I've had a return. I have had 1 return show up. I've had 2 return cases opened. All three of them had the exact, why do you want to return the item, right? All 3, y'all. Is this happening to you more and more? I kind of like this return. If I'm going to get one, I want them to say, changed my mind, I don't want it anymore, or something like that, because I don't refund the shipping if that's the case. So that's happened 3 times this week, which really stinks. One was on a $10 Bible. One was on one of the CDs sold for $40-some, and it's supposedly coming back. I don't know if they've shipped it yet. This one was interesting too. This is, I think, a sweatshirt, and it got returned to sender. And the buyer sent me a message and said, hey, can you ship that back out again? And I'm like, yeah, but you need to pay me for the shipping. I can't, it's not my fault you put the wrong address on there. And they're like, well, how much is that going to cost? I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out and tell you, but I'm not going to pay for it. So this person sent me a message. They sent me an incredibly detailed message, actually, and saying, hey, I'm a new reseller. I've been at it for 6 months. Let me pick this first item and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. I actually thought about, because we're going to look at numbers today. And the numbers, knock that off of there. I gotta find this Garmin in here. This one I cringed because I didn't want to pay it because it's an older Garmin and I was out in the sticks. It's like let me find it. So I got it. These older Garmins, these, the hiking ones, the portable ones, you're out there in the middle of nowhere and they work and stuff. They do really good. This one's just a really old model, so it wasn't amazing. But I paid 10 for it, thinking I could get maybe 70. I got 52 and change, plus shipping. I was going to look at my numbers today and do a comparison and just say what I said before was true. And what I said, and this person referenced it in their message to me, was I posed a question. Is $50 an hour possible for a brand new reseller? And I went over quite a few different things. And I said, yeah. I think it is in your first year. At some point during your first year, I think it's possible. Is it likely? No. Is it going to be the majority of people? Heck no. But it is possible in certain circumstances. It is, quite honestly, what I shoot for when I'm doing what I'm doing. I try not to do things that are not going to make me that. It used to be like $20 I would shoot for, and then it was $40, and now I'm shooting for $50, and I don't always get there, but it's nice to shoot for it. They said I've been selling for 6 months. I spend 5 to 10 hours a week. That's a big difference, by the way. And I think they have faulty math here, and I want to explain it a little bit. And they said I've made $1,200. So let's do the math on that really quick. So 5 to 10 hours a week. That's 25 weeks. 6 months. We'll just use some round numbers. 25 weeks right there. I guess what it's 26, but I don't know exactly when they started, I suppose. So we'll just say 25. 125 hours to 250 hours, depending on where you spend 5 to 10 hours a week. I'm going to guess it's on the lower side of that, or at least in the middle, right? So 125 hours, $1,200. Let's do that math. I'm going to pick some things while we're going through that, but 125 hours, $1,200, that's less than $10 an hour, right? On the low end, if they're using the low end. This could be worse than that if we're using the high end of the hours. So the argument was, I thought you said, you know, I could probably make $50 an hour. First of all, I didn't say that. I said it's possible, but it's not the likely outcome for people who are just starting out. I bought these for 25 cents a piece, y'all, at a sale. And they are James Patterson for middle schoolers. So that's $2 worth of books right there. And they sold for $18 plus shipping. Nope, $18.95 plus shipping. So now I had to start to pry a little bit. I'm like, okay, best case scenario, you're making $9.60 per hour if you're working only 5 hours a week. If you're working 10, what's half of that? $4.55 an hour? That's really not very good. So I was like, you know, something's not right. Either this person just doesn't know what they're doing or something's up. And so I started to ask some questions. The first question I asked is, what kind of accounting are you doing? I knew right off the bat that they were using a cash method, and that really changes everything versus the accrual method. To the way you look at your money. If you're using, I had a buddy a few years ago, he's like, you know, I got this app to do whatever. This is before my Reseller Genie. This is a while ago. And they were using whatever people were using back then. And he's like, man, when I put in the gas and I put in all this stuff and I put in all this stuff and whatever. And so I asked him about, he's like, I'm not making anything. And the same exact issue, which is why I asked these questions. The method in which you do your accounting, there's one little thing that I had to pry to get that made it make complete sense. This person is actually doing far better than they think they're doing. So I'm an old school teacher at heart and coach, and I like to write stuff out. So of course it's not worth it. $4.50 an hour, $9.60 an hour. But there's a little bit of a problem here. The simple question that I asked them was, well, after I figured out they were doing the cash method, I asked them one question. All right, some of you already figured out what the question is that I've asked him. I probably shouldn't say it. I should probably let you comment below, see if you can, who's figured it out. I just asked him, how much inventory does he have listed on eBay? He's like, so I haven't sold it yet. I'm like, I know, but you've rolled all the cost into acquiring it already into this. And so how much do you have listed? He said $4,900. I said, okay. I was like, well, you can assume you're not going to get $4,900 out of that. I mean, rarely do we get full price on every item that we have. So we're going to use this number here to figure out what eventually his labor thus far, minus the shipping labor he's still got to put in because you still got to ship it, has got him, and see how close to that number he is. So let's just, I don't know, $4,900 in listings. Let's say maybe $4,200 of it is what you can maybe expect to get out. Maybe that's a little low. Maybe that's a little high. I'm going to go with $4,200 to make the point. All right, I actually forgot one more thing. So $4,900 in listings, that's probably $4,200 minimum in sales is probably what I would estimate. But you got to take fees out of that as well. Those fees are already taken out. So minus, I'm going to say 600 in fees-ish, something like that. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But that means that your profit off of all the work you've put in so far, with the exception of shipping those items, is $4,800. And if you've put in 125 hours, the math on that is you're making $38.40 an hour on the low end. And he's probably not putting in 5. He's probably not putting in 10 either. We're going to split the difference here in a second, and we'll come up with that number. I actually think when we look at these final numbers here, I think this guy is doing quite a bit right. And I think he's on the right track for 2 reasons. As you can see, we are still in the process. I bought these sweet looking books the other day. And still in the process of cleaning everything, totally changing our business around. These are kind of cool. I didn't realize it at the time, but they are missing a heart. I thought, oh, it's got diamonds and spades and clubs. No heart. Anyway, they still sold for what they sell for, $17.05. Please come join us on Dibdit and buy my stuff, because we're trying to reset our whole system to streamline eBay and to streamline live selling, but especially to streamline eBay. So $17.05 plus shipping. So yes, I did say it is possible, I think, in your first year to make $50 an hour, but there's certain circumstances that need to be in place. There are resellers I know, been doing it for 20 years, that don't make $50 an hour or anywhere near it. And so to me, when we look at these numbers, I think this person's doing pretty darn good. The biggest thing that I think they're doing right is they're going to pay next to no taxes on this in their first year, because of the way they're doing accounting and the fact that they're keeping track of everything and they're rolling everything into that, all of their expenses. And they're doing the cash method, which if you do the cash method in your first year, you are going to be doing way better if you're reinvesting money back into your business versus the accrual method. I'm not going to get into those details, but most of you know what I'm talking about. So here it is, using our new numbers. At 125 hours, he's making $38.40 an hour. Now, that's not happening. That's not where he's really at, because you also have to ship those items as well, and you're going to bump those hours up. So that's not happening. But even at the max hours, which I don't think is happening either, he's at $19.20. My guess is he's somewhere right in the middle. I sold a members only jacket, but I screwed something up because I've got all these colors, gray and off. This is like khaki and I don't know. But it's the same exact jacket, same exact size, but the tagging on the inside is different. And I feel bad because I think I switched it in another order and the person never complained, so I never figured it out. This is, you don't normally get $27 for a members only jacket, but this one did because of a few different things that I'm not going to go into right now because I don't have time. But I decided I have another one back there I've had to mark down a few times, and so as an apology, even though they'll be happy with it, I think, I'm going to throw in 2 of them instead of just 1. Since it's the same exact size, same jacket. A lot of times it'll say, that says Korea, sometimes it'll say Hong Kong. And I'm going to send them a message and say, hey, here you go. You can have 2 jackets. If you don't like it, tell me and I'll give you some money back too. Plus, I have some awesome jackets that I've got to get listed, and I got to have space in there. So I've been cleaning out and clearing out a few jackets anyway, selling some off on Dibdit and doing some other things. So I'm happy to do that because it gets some stuff out of here, and I got good money for that and made a good profit. Speaking of profit, my estimation is this guy here is making $25.60 an hour. But I think this goes to show people that this is a ramping up business. You cannot pay yourself all of your profit. You just simply can't if you're going to grow in this business. And I think that's where some of the misconception is with some new folks out there. You're going to have to take a portion of your profit and reinvest it into your business to continue to grow it to where it gets to the point where you want it to be. And I think that's what's happening here. That original $1,200, maybe he could have paid himself that. That's what he shows as real true profit. That's money not reinvested into the business. And that number goes up over time. Once you get to the point where you've got, I don't know, 1,800 listings or whatever, then it becomes a different ball game. And so I actually applaud the heck out of this guy. Tell me if I'm wrong out there, you OG resellers out there. To be just 6 months in, and the way I calculate things, to be making $25 an hour is pretty darn good in my personal opinion. I think it's only going to go up from there. So let me know what you think. Am I way off? People will slam me down below in the comments, and I get that. I hope at least you understand what I'm talking about. To me, I always get this, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. And I always say the same thing. There's nobody who can determine what is worth it to you, because we're all in different situations. Yeah, if this guy's, a lawyer making, $150K, $250K a year or something or more, then maybe it's not worth it financially. But there's all kinds of other ways to make something worth it. For me as a teacher, when I was a teacher, the most I ever made as a teacher, a coach, and a bus driver was $42,000 in a year. Now I'd be making way more than that now, but that's the most I ever made. So for me, you tell me I can make $25 an hour and work from home? I'm like, yeah, I'll put in 12 hours a day. No problem. I can make a living on that. Especially because I get to talk to people all day just like I used to and sell stuff like this. This is a viewer sale. Obviously, these always are Ryan is hoping to get his eBay store moving, and this little plush enema should do it for you. Let me read the message really quick. It says, buyer's note. Hi, Kevin. My wife and I love watching all your flipper and your picker videos. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed to both Commonwealth Picker and Commonwealth Picker. And you've been a huge inspiration for our business. You're definitely one of the reasons we have been able to navigate building our own business, building your own business model as successful as we have so far. My wife is now able to work full-time for us. That is awesome. Tell me what you think you make per hour if you've ever figured it out down below. I'd love to hear your answers using the kind of method that I'm talking about. And we get to pick every week together for our eBay store and growing YouTube channel. Here's hoping this little plush helps to continue to get things moving. You didn't shout out your YouTube channel. Fun Guy Flips is the name of your eBay store here. So I'm guessing it's maybe Fun Guy Flips. Any rate, you can tell us down in the comments. I appreciate it, and I hope he gets things moving for you. This is more than likely... Come on in here, bud. Come on. Wallen says, I'll come visit you. This is not something that's up my alley to pick. It looks like a handcrafted cutting board. This must have come out of the death pile pickers buyout. And it sold for $20 plus shipping, and I know it's not going to break in shipping. How you doing? Hey, are you looking for your brother? You're like, I don't know if I want to come in here because he's not with me. You can come see me. Come sit in the chair. There you go. Next item is one of my favorite tricks. It's to take a puppet and to list it as a head cover and a puppet. I bet you I've sold 30 of these over the years. Little Sparky Bird, Liberty puppets and Pee Pee Putter covers or whatever. And I listed it as both. It sold, I paid $1. I usually pay $1 for these. Sold for $15.99 plus shipping. The next one is part of our Filipino flip. And the very first part of that came out on last week, Wednesday there. Or just the last Wednesday, I guess I should say. And this came from their Star Wars Series 2 collector metallic cards. Didn't go for a ton of money. You all right, bud? $14.95 plus shipping. The next part of that sale will come out in a future picker video, coming up pretty quick. $1,000 we spent total. In the first video, we spent $200. Second one, we spent $800 more. We're already at $2,086. That's taking out fees, y'all. So it's a profit of $1,086 so far. Sold some Sirocco mid-century modern wall decor, and these went pretty good. Some of this stuff's okay. That was at a sale, and it was like day 2, late in the day, and they were dirt cheap. I mean, they had priced stuff at $0.10 at this yard sale. I believe these two were $0.25, if I can find the right ones. I might have to dig through this bin. It's getting a little full. Actually, now that I'm looking at them and I have them in my hand, I know where I bought these. I bought these at the flea market, and they were asking $5 a piece for them, and I did 2 for $5. So I actually paid more than that. So $2.50 a piece, total $5, sold for $30, $29.95 plus shipping. I have been waiting for this set to sell, for this set to sell, and it finally did. And I made a bunch of money. I did this at the it was one of the highway sales here in Virginia. Whenever you can find the figures that go with some of these outdoor sets, some of them go okay. And especially if they have the paddles. So we sold this all together, I think. I'm going to look at the picture. This one even had the blanket with it. And you just normally don't see those accessories. And so since I saw those accessories, I mean, you can sell these little individual pieces for sure. But you can't make a bunch of money doing it. Had the gas can on it. This is not in the best of shape, but the rest of it is in pretty good shape. Put that over here, and I'm going to look at the picture really quick. Yep, it is this whole set. So this one went too. So we put it all together. It's a little outdoor set. And it sold for $55.97. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big pieces, a lot of little pieces. That's not bad. By the way, today's video here is just one day of sales. A lot of times it'll be 2 days of sales that I'll put into one, but I'm filming one extra video because I know I'm going to be gone for a day that I typically would do a video on. So I'm doing, this is the 3rd straight day I'm filming. I'm going to film tomorrow, so shorter duration. So this is 1 day's worth of sales, probably around $400. No huge bangers in here, but some decent stuff. This one's good. And I do see a buyer's note. They say, heck yeah, thank you. Saber is the name. I don't think this is a viewer. I just think that they say, heck yeah. I don't know, 30 bucks. See if I can find it. Biohazard, y'all. Y'all see Biohazard? I think it's a set of 5 of them. So do y'all see 5 anywhere? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe it'll be down here. Biohazard. There it is right there. Those CDs right there. That little set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sold for $30 plus shipping.
Hi guys. You know this happens a lot. Kevin forgot to lay this out. So this guy sold to a little Halloween dancing Snoopy plush. Looks like it sold for $21.95 plus shipping. And look, my little buddy's here. The new guy, Toulouse. Say hi. Yeah?
So I was going to go through my stuff today and chart it and look at an hourly wage for it, but my son has a game and I don't have time to do it. So I'll just say 400. I'm going to say my profit off of these items here, these 12 sales, is probably over, well, it's almost certainly over $200 is my guess, or really close to it, somewhere around there, without having to do all the math, because we got to subtract the shipping from the total gross number, which is over $400, and then subtract the fees out of there as well. So I think we'll do pretty good. There's nothing going to cost a lot of money in shipping here. 12 listings. How long would it take you to do 12 listings and to ship 12 listings and to source those things? I think we're probably pretty close to our $50 number. It may be a little less because there's really no big hitters in here, but occasionally we have those big hitters. Like last video, I think I sold something for $190. That really helps that number. So let me know what you think down below. What's the number you shoot for, or do you not even calculate it? Do you just do it for fun out there? And I think a lot of people do. I do, to be honest with you. I wouldn't do it for free. It's not that much fun. But the fact that I'm making money on it, and you have that chance to get that really awesome one and sell something for $500, $800 or something, that's what makes it super fun. Plus finding all that cool old stuff. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And I can't wait to see you next.